The changing landscape of the housing market in Las Vegas requires a real estate professional that understands how to get your offer accepted, willing to go above and beyond for service and accountability. Hi, my name is Dan French. I've been in the real estate and financing industry for over 13 years. Most real estate agents struggle with answering their phone. Please call me directly, 702-557-6176. I'm available for all your real estate needs.
Dan's a fantastic man. He really is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
That's where we're going. I think we're
What's
going
going on, guys, here today? This is Dan French and the French Workbench Podcast. Man, we got a lot of things happening here. Everybody's chitter-chatting here inside studio. And I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. This is the most real and behind-the-scenes information on financing, real estate, money talk going on here in Las Vegas. I'm your host, Dan French, streaming live. We got a full studio today. We're going to introduce our guests, our normal crew here on a Saturday, but we're going to talk today about is the market really seeing a decline in actual home prices? We know that homes are, the sales are going down, but are we seeing home prices come down? We're also going to talk about a little bit about what's happening here in Las Vegas. We're going to give you guys a market update and just kind of talk a little bit about what we see out there in the markets, dealing with these clients on a day-to-day basis. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce my guy across the road, right across here.
Where?
Right in the corner of the room. Yeah.
Row your boat.
Who's this guy?
Gently down that damn stream.
I brought him out of the corner.
Is that Mr. Brett Jenny?
The guy with two first names.
Mr. BJ himself.
Kind of
And
low
in this
energy
corner.
today. Yeah, man. How you doing, Dan?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Dude, it's warm out, right?
Yeah, it's real nice out.
105, 106 degrees. Nice June Vegas weather. But earlier this week we had rain and it was, what, low 80s?
Yeah.
For the end of June? When's the last time? I can't remember that in the 13 years I've been here.
Yeah, no.
Well, dude, I know if you're going out and you're going to jog, I think you're going to be all right. You know what I mean?
You got to
What
go
if you
early in the
run?
morning.
Yeah.
You got to go 6, 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Also, we have Mr. Doug over here. Doug, leaving.
Good morning.
Good
Leaving,
morning.
you got it.
I got it, man.
Oh, there we go. In our fourth episode.
I think that's more than that, but I finally figured it out,
That's
man.
all right.
Finally got it.
I was being
I
gentle.
always
on
called
you.
it lie big. Lie big.
Yeah.
So, what's going on
German.
with you, Doug?
Without
Just
the-
not that German.
Not that German.
What's going on with you, Doug?
Just
Home inspections.
enjoying the heat. Yeah, enjoying the heat.
How's that go, man, with your home inspections? And
It's
the heat?
hot.
Is it?
So how much? So do you get there first and you do the outside of the house and then you move to the inside, or?
Yeah, it just depends on, it kind of depends on, like, if somebody's home or not.
Yeah,
And
I
if I
gotcha.
have to
What you have
knock
to-
out some areas that
Sure.
people need me to be out of their
Yeah.
way or whatever, But, yeah, I try to knock out the roof first and then go into the attic and then get all the hot stuff taken care of. And then
Just
throw
get it out of the
AC
way,
on
right? Get
and
the hard work done first.
throw it down to 70 degrees, and then I get the sellers. They always complain that I throw the AC on too cold for them.
Have to make sure it works.
I got to make sure it works the whole time, right? I leave it running the whole time.
Sorry, it's code. Sorry, folks.
Yeah, it
It's-
is. Yeah.
It's code.
I get it cold so I can heat it up.
That's right. That's
towards the
right.
end.
That's right. It's
Yeah.
proper procedure.
I was going
Right.
to bring up some
Exactly.
topics that came over this week, and I think it's something that we should definitely address for the show. The gun laws, we can talk about that. Also, the Roe versus Wade was overturned. So, what do you think about that, Brett?
Something happened?
You don't want to talk about that,
Did something happen?
Brett? You were
listen,
talking about it
yeah.
all day yesterday. That you were out
I know.
down there.
I was like,
Were you down there and you were doing the protesting or what? Were you down there?
no, but I was watching it on YouTube last night. It was kind of.
Brett, I saw your face, man. Don't
Yeah.
tell me, dude. Listen,
I wasn't making fun
he's
of
the
it.
ringleader.
I was
No, I
just
didn't say
kind
that.
of,
No, but I think that
pointless, I guess. Not going to
Really?
change Supreme Court decisions. So,
But I thought-
I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean,
dude.
whatever, man. I understand both sides.
So, Brett, if you had to pick a side, I'm just,
I know.
I'm just saying.
Live and let live, man.
I'm just opening
Yeah.
up a can.
So I can
You
tell
know
you
what?
how I
What?
can help you buy a house and sell the house. Other than that, I don't know shit. I don't have an opinion on anything, man.
Dude, there's a lot of stuff going on in Las Vegas too. You know,
Yeah.
everybody right now is traveling. So Las Vegas, you know, you see a lot of things happening. There was somebody that hit over $300,000 jackpot. You guys heard that in the news?
Nice.
Yeah. So it just
Did
seems,
he win that in like 5 minutes?
Yeah, it was something
Like literally,
crazy.
he just got here. And it was
Algorithms,
like his
dude,
first
we were
hand
just
or
talking
something,
about that.
He literally won like 300,000.
Yeah.
And you know what he did that no one else does? Said, "I'm out of here." Took the money and ran.
That's good.
That's dude. Vegas knows, right? This
Well,
house. I always say, man, this town wasn't built on winners.
Right. Yeah. Well, you know, instead of putting it on black, going to the rut
Yeah.
or something like that, and just putting it all on black, you know, and maybe doubling your
I
money.
mean, how much
you
was
know?
his bet that he made? It wasn't even that much, was it? You just got like incredible odds.
Probably
on.
dollars, I would imagine.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it wasn't probably like 50 grand or 20 grand even. I mean, shit.
No, I mean, and then-
some of these people load
Yeah.
up the machines and they just put like $5 $1
Yeah.
coins in there or whatever.
I think your odds are still the same of losing, but that's just me.
So also there's been talk here in Las Vegas of having a baseball team and a basketball team. You had the guy LeBron James come out and state he's going to try to. What do you guys think, man? You guys think this is going to be a
I
big
think
deal
it's
here?
inevitable.
It is.
Absolutely inevitable.
What do you
I
think?
mean,
But listen, you've seen other cities, and I wanted to bring this up. I had this topic. I actually do another YouTube channel, so you guys want to check it out. But I was talking a little bit about if the teams aren't doing well.
sound off.
Yeah, if the teams aren't doing well, right? Are people going to still want to go and watch
Absolutely,
these games?
absolutely. Here's
You
what I
think
think.
so?
Here's what I think.
Winners,
Go ahead, man. Sorry.
winners and losers always make money. Doesn't matter whether they're winning or losing.
And we're in
Well-
the biggest entertainment town in the
Exactly.
world.
I'm going to
And
disagree
sports
because
is entertainment.
Yep.
And a lot of money spent on it.
I'm going to disagree because I
Okay.
think that Las Vegas has other things to offer. You know, people aren't going to come here to watch. I mean, if they got their team playing, especially if it's baseball.
Sure.
I'm not saying baseball is not popular, but you know, you got to have a certain niche of people. Niche
So
of
let's
people
look
that watch
statistics.
that. So why would they come to Vegas
So-
and watch that when there's so many other things to do if the team's not doing well?
Let's look at the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights started out their first year going to the championship, Stanley Cup. Second, third year doing playoffs, and then like the last year or two, I don't think we've made playoffs.
No.
So has the fan base calmed
Dropped?
down at all?
No.
Dropped? Have people been
No.
less enthusiastic? Have people talked about the Golden Knights as they're just a regular thing in Las Vegas?
Well, there's-
absolutely not.
There's something to talk about,
Yeah,
right?
there's something to talk about. And I think that
Yeah.
if anything, we've seen through the Golden Knights that they were basically a test run. And
Yeah.
this town reacted very, very well to having a sports team. I mean, I came from Wisconsin, man. Wisconsin's like, all we have there are sports. Packer football games, Badger football games. I mean, dude, people are passed out at 9 a.m. in the morning from tailgating already.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's a part of life there. And out here, when I moved out to Las Vegas, the only way that sports mattered out here was betting on it.
Yeah.
Like actually having a sports team and being behind it and supporting it didn't exist. It was strictly just a betting thing. And I think that we've really shown with the Golden Knights, this town wants sports, and we're wanting more.
Well, yeah, and you know the other thing is too is this town is loaded with military.
Absolutely.
Former military. Yeah, I mean,
Dude,
you know it was always Monday night football games. You
Yeah,
know, it's
I
like,
mean-
it's all about the sports.
Yeah.
So yeah.
you
and
mean you guys are sitting around the base watching figure skating? Come on, man.
No.
Just admit it.
No,
No figure skating?
We were doing. We were
Oh.
watching that. What's that? That's that Canadian.
That's huge in Wisconsin, too.
Yeah, I know it is. I was gonna try to make funny of it, but
Dude, what is it? I can't even. I'm from Wisconsin.
it's where they sweep the ice in front
Yeah.
of the little puck. I
Dan,
forget.
what is that?
What is that? What? Say it
They
again.
sweep the ice with the brush.
Oh, that's cricket.
No, curling.
Dude,
yeah.
Wisconsin
Yeah,
seriously has
I
like
know.
people go to the Olympics every
Minnesota,
year.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, for curling.
I know.
Which is funny because I have never known one person when I grew up there that ever curled.
Oh, really?
And like the people that go to the Olympics for it are from Wisconsin. Yet I've never seen,
Yeah.
So it's like hockey. A lot of the
Well,
hockey's from up north.
I can say this though,
Yeah.
man. I also look at Las Vegas, and sports is great. You think it's more of just status quo of, hey, we got 5 teams now, and we're the big boys. I think that's kind of
Part of that, too.
I think that's kind of what it is too. I mean, it's not just we're going to make a ton of revenue. These
It gives us street cred on an even bigger stage besides just entertainment.
Well,
it
it'd
gives us
be
street
really-
cred on a international level on so many other levels now because of that.
Yeah.
You know?
And what would be really cool is if they had a Major League Baseball expansion team. instead of bringing somebody else in.
That would be awesome.
That would be.
I mean,
just
LeBron's
like-
talking about that with basketball. It
I
would
know.
be an expansion, right?
I mean, why don't we make the Las Vegas an expansion? Town. Instead
Oakland
of,
A's, stay in Oakland, bro. No worries.
I mean, they're
Just kidding.
they were Oakland A's when I was 5 years old. It's
they were.
stay Oakland A's.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's get into a little bit more. Also, I want to bring up one thing that they have these Teslas they're going to be renting out on the Strip. Well, they have a tunnel now that you're going to be able to travel, I guess, underneath the Strip to get to different casinos. And did you see that too as well?
Yeah, but a little further on that, did you see in San Francisco, they started debuting autonomous cabs or like Ubers, basically.
Well, they've been working on that.
So they actually started it, and it's in, I think, one part of the northern section of San Francisco, and it's only a little limited area that they're starting out on. But it basically pulls up, you get in, and who loves it a lot are women because they feel a lot more safer. Because they get in an Uber or whatever it is, and it's still like somebody else in the car. But they love the fact that like they can call it and get home at night, and they're in the car by themselves, and they just feel safer that way.
Really?
Yeah, I mean it kind of makes sense. I mean, we're guys, so we don't ever really ever consider that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I guess that makes sense. Like you're coming home at night.
So
and
would
you
you buy a
yourself,
Tesla or would you stick with going just gas? Would you do electric?
I would do electric in a heartbeat.
Really?
Yeah. Audi has an electric car. I mean, it's like super expensive though. So
Yeah.
I gotta sell a few more
that's
homes
just
before I
it.
do that.
It's the way they're doing it. Is like it's basically ultimatum. It's like you either get an electric car or we're going to shut you off.
Well, I mean, we knew
if
we
they
knew we were.
transitioned into it, that'd be a little different story.
Yeah.
But
So then there's the debate of, do you just what's that transition? Do you go about it quickly and just get it over with?
Yeah.
But then, I mean, what's the collateral damage on both sides, right?
Yeah.
If you go
I think
slow or
there's
if you go fast, I mean, I get it. I think we were eventually heading there anyways. And I mean, I think we can all agree to not be dependent on oil would probably be a great thing.
you know what? What people don't get is that we have an endless supply of oil.
I agree, but
endless supply though. Like I mean,
well,
Yes.
regardless,
where's this at though? Doug? I mean, where is this? I mean, because we're having problems, and I understand there's oil that we haven't tapped into, but where's this endless supply?
Okay, so you think that oil comes from fossil fuels, right?
Well, that's what they say, right?
Right. It doesn't.
Okay,
It's
comes from Lake Mead.
It's biological matter.
That's why we're drying
it's
up.
Biological matter. I mean, if you think about it, it's like how many dinosaurs had to die for 1 billion barrels of oil?
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it. It's like so. What happens is the oil regenerates. The Earth actually regenerates the oil. We got plenty of oil. I mean, there's
my whole thing is just off oil. Period.
Right. Well,
I mean, how are you going to tell me that the sun's
water?
how that oil's better for you than the sun?
They've got cars. They've got cars that actually, they've got a motor that will actually run on water.
Yeah.
But the guy got killed because the big oil.
I get it, dude. I know there's lots of rabbit holes on those things. That's a whole nother podcast, dude. We should actually, that's a great idea, dude, because we could sit there and run each other down our rabbit holes all day long.
So let's say this. So I'm thinking
I learned about that in my engineering.
You're absolutely right about that, though, man. Yeah. That's the thing about it. That's not just like a...
No, it is.
Yeah, that's...
You can split water from hydrogen to oxygen,
and people getting killed for that kind of shit.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he died like maybe a couple weeks after he applied for
coincidentally fell off a cruise ship.
Oh, no, he's poisoned.
Well, there's another one. I think it was Tesla.
So the question to me is, I think I'm going to go ahead and probably put down money on a truck, Tesla truck, the Cybertruck.
You are?
What do you guys think about that layout of that truck, though? I mean, you think...
I think it's badass, man.
It looks like the
cool.
Warhog on Halo.
Dude.
Doesn't it?
I think it's got lots of fucking muscle.
Okay, so here, I got a question, okay? So
let's do that again, Brett.
Lots of fucking muscle.
Okay,
got twin engine on that some bitch right there, V8.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill going up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're saying that we had 3 kids in the house. Now we've got 2, maybe. Well, the kids aren't even around the house anymore, right? And we're using air conditioning less. So now our electric bill is going up
How old's your house?
It's just 95, but I got brand new air conditioning.
Oh, okay,
units,
okay.
And everything I got in there is almost brand new.
Yeah.
So we're trying to figure out our natural gas. We get a $291 rebate, and the electric company says that because the price of gas is going up, that they have to charge us more for electricity. My thinking is we've got more electric cars in this town now because people can afford it in this town.
Yeah.
People can afford electric cars. A lot of places in the States, people can't afford them. I mean, they're living on a $50,000 a year salary, raising kids, and
So it makes sense to have to buy a $60,000 car, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for what, you know?
Yeah,
But my thinking is their rate, because we've got so many electric cars in this town now. I mean, I see Teslas all over.
Yeah.
I'm driving all over town every day.
Dude, that's the only car. That's the Summerlin branded car.
I know,
there.
right? Every time I go to Summerlin, it's like you got Teslas running
All
all over the
dude.
place.
Yeah.
They're parked in the car. They're plugged
Yeah.
into the walls. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
And but I think what's happening is we've got so many electric cars that they're spreading the rate out all over the valley here and raising everybody's rate because, I mean, how much does it cost to charge a car? You know?
I have no idea. I see my neighbor across the street has his plugged in all the time.
Yeah.
Dude, I have no idea.
I don't either, but I'm
what
just
you pay
saying.
for that for gas. If anybody out there that watches,
I think
man,
everybody's paying for it. Is what I'm saying.
So there's got to be somebody watching that has a Tesla. Like, what does that cost?
Well, it's not only
for
Tesla.
electricity
I mean,
versus
it's
gas
just
per
electric
month?
cars in general.
I have no idea.
California's passed a law that by a certain year, I forgot the year, but it's all cars have to be electric.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to happen here, or has it happened here in Vegas? I don't know. You don't think it would happen here?
I don't think I don't think it's going to happen. Period.
Why is that?
Because I mean, we got so if you run out of electricity in your car, how do you going to generate power?
Well, how are you going to do it if you run out of gas?
You have a gas can.
You have sunlight.
Okay, so you have solar.
So you can, I mean, that's something they need
So
to
you
do, which
sit
is
there
have
for-
solar regenerate the electricity or something like that. Like, all I'm saying is you can have that same scenario with gas too, and then the solution is to have a gas station. Well, same thing. If you run out of power, the solution is to have a power station.
Yeah, but the gas stations are. I mean, they're everywhere. I mean, you can't spit and miss one.
Yeah, I know, but we're at, the more that things are.
I'm just saying that, it's much more convenient, especially like
Right now it is, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because I mean, I like going out. I don't like.
I know what you're saying, because if I was going to make a trip to Reno right now,
Yeah.
I would have. I mean, could you even make that trip straight with a Tesla?
No, and I got a decent
Right?
Okay, so
200 or 300 miles, and then you got to fill up.
yeah,
somewhere.
but from
Right?
what I
Yeah.
noticed about Tesla is they're really setting up a lot of stations now too, and maybe
Yeah.
somebody on here can tell us about that. But I know that it's not as many gas stations like you said, but they're really starting to focus on that. I was talking to a couple of people. Actually, a client of mine said they came out here, and they said that you wouldn't believe it, but there's a lot more places than you would think, especially around these gas stations where they're setting up for you to have where you can plug in your car if you have an electric car.
What stock is it? There's a stock out there for a company that basically that's what they do. Is they're the leading company for just installing electric.
It's like a
stations.
Connex thing that they
throughout the entire country.
Yeah, I know. I saw.
They're like
that.
an AMCO of
Right. Yeah.
electric.
But they've got this whole thing set up to where they're supposed to be able to set up this Connex in a gas station where you can power up your electric vehicle or you can get gas out of the. But I think it should stay gas. I don't think we should ever get rid of gas.
I do.
No, I don't.
Why?
I absolutely don't. Because once you get rid of something, you're committed. And what happens when that source goes out?
But
Why not have both?
So I think we should have both for quite a while. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think that eventually
Till
the
after
game
I'm
plan is, you'll never run out of sunlight. You'll never run out of like natural energy in that sense. So if we can find a way to harness that, that's ultimately where it's at, because
I could tell you
it's
nature.
some shit you're not going to run out of nature.
Actually,
like how can you go better
on this one?
Is this like a conspiracy theory thing?
No.
What's that?
No. It's
what
a
were you
science
saying?
thing.
A science thing.
But people can't get their mind around
Go ahead,
it.
and we'll say it. I
Go
mean,
ahead.
you brought it up. So
Well, there's free energy. There is free energy.
Sure.
Yeah, there's
Just like electric cars
Okay.
could have been invented a long time ago. But there were a lot of obstacles of people and companies standing in the way, right?
They had electric vehicles. They had electric vehicles designed back before the 1900s. That was actually a thing.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
water before
Yeah.
gasoline. But then you had who was it? Rockefeller? I think it was whoever
No,
it was.
I get it. And then
Yeah.
the big money took over and said, we're not having that.
No, because we
you
can
know,
make more. Because
people
obviously,
aren't going to move towards something they don't even know about.
right? Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's a great way to
Exactly. No, we
shore up
had-
your business.
Oh, that's
So,
that's what Tesla was all about. And they actually designed the cars. They had electric cars
Yeah.
designed and everything, but they got rid of that. And they figured they can make more
yeah.
money
I
on
mean,
the
you know,
oil
there's always going to be that obstacle of human power and ego and not against their best interests that are going to come into play with every scenario.
Yeah.
But
No,
I think that more than ever with Tesla coming.
The cool
scene.
thing is my wife is a historical fiction author, right?
Oh, wow, really?
So she writes time travel stuff.
Dude, that's awesome, man.
Yeah. And so
Huh.
what she does is she gets all these books, this literature
Yeah.
that was actually published from like 1920s.
So she actually
1930s.
does research.
Yeah, her books are loaded with research. What
She
she
can have
wanted-
a talk with a lot of reporters out there about how you actually do that.
Dude, she's a wealth of information just
Yeah.
because of the books. Because what happens is you get something published that's like, say, from the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
Same book. It's going to be much different than something that's published in the 20s or 30s.
Oh, I bet.
It is.
I bet.
It's
So,
been, yeah.
same subjects,
So
but different.
What's cool is she'll sit there and she'll research, like her book. She has a trilogy out with it. Actually has this girl going back into time, but everything is historically correct, from the economics
Wow.
to the social life,
Yeah.
to the cars, to politics, everything. I mean, it's all that.
So
that stuff
she
is,
spends her day doing research, and then the other half is creating her own stories based
now
upon
she's-
the actual factual research.
Yeah. So she's got like 7 books out. And
Wow.
and then
What are the name of them?
It's
Promote it.
Well,
Serious.
she's got. It's called the Dear Maud trilogy.
Dear Ma?
Dear Maud.
Maud? Okay.
Yeah, Maude. And she put almost 4 years of research. It was her. This book is. She put herself into this book. It wasn't just telling a story.
Yeah.
It was like something that came to her that she wanted to like actually live back in that time.
Yeah.
And so she did all the
So put
the
herself
research.
living a life back in time, but in her head.
Yeah, in her
Dude,
head,
I dig it, man. That's an artist. That's what they do. Writers, yeah.
So she's
Cool.
very, very talented.
What's the link to that? Because
Yeah.
somebody was actually asking about that. Does she have a link to the book or?
It's on Amazon, and you can just go into Denise Liebig on Amazon.
Liebig, not Liebig.
Liebig.
So what's the name? What's the name of the series again?
It's Dear Maud trilogy.
Dear Maud trilogy.
Yeah.
Dear Maud trilogy.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
All right,
it's an amazing.
Shout out to your wife, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, but my point was that with the stuff that she's researched, she's come across, it was blowing her mind based on what we were
I
taught,
bet, man.
based on what we know to be true is like way different than
and that's
what was
that's why I was
published
saying,
back
man.
in the 20s
like,
and 30s.
no facts, actual facts,
Yeah.
or I should say reality,
Yeah.
is actual perception.
Yeah,
Facts a lot of times have nothing to do with it.
yeah, right. Exactly. No, And
Absolutely
that's like-
nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's like a lot of people like to say, "Well, it's conspiracy theory." Well, no, it's not. It's like
it's-
it was
yeah.
written in the
Yeah,
book.
yeah, yeah.
Are you saying that what's written in the book?
You've
today,
just heard the
conspiracy
4
theory?
generations later version.
Yeah, right.
That doesn't, and it's been distorted. You ever play that game of Whisper? Somebody starts over here saying
Oh, yeah,
one thing,
right.
and by the time he gets there,
Or telephone? Yeah.
yeah, telephone, whatever the hell it is. It's been a minute.
All right, we gotta keep moving here. We got off on topic.
right.
We're gonna start talking about
Okay.
aliens and Martians and
Yeah, man, and then how Roe versus Wade affects that. And then I want to talk about a little bit gun law on that.
Slide that-
Side of gun law.
But you didn't bring
Slide that in.
you didn't bring that up, Brad.
Oh.
I mean, do you
By the way,
I like my gun
didn't-
laws
I didn't
medium
check mine
rare.
at the door. By the way.
did you? So do you guys believe like having?
I ain't worried about
I'll
that
say
with
this
Doug in the
last
room
thing,
yet.
and then we got to keep moving.
Doug ain't worried
Do you
about
guys
taking
have
action.
a concealed weapons permit? Do you have that?
No.
Okay, that was
I
the
got the Second Amendment. So
Well, here's the thing about that. I'm not going to tell you. Guess.
Yeah.
You want to find out?
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
That's just funny.
No, man. I have a registered 380, and it's right next to my bedside. And I've got the clip with hollow points because I'm shooting you. I'm doing it to kill you.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And-
you hollowed them out?
Yeah, I just
Well,
bought them
you
hollow
don't-
point.
Did they
you
do
don't
that?
ever.
I don't take those to the shooting range and tell you
Do
that.
they do
They're
that?
expensive,
Is that
dude.
where they do that in Wisconsin? Is that how they do it? Wisconsin?
No, I just got a little 380 next to my bed, and man, if you're coming in at 3 a.m., I'm probably not into eat popcorn and drink Pepsi. So
Yeah.
What if he just wanted to come in and say, "Hey, Brett, I need to get some real estate services. Can you help me out?"
I don't. It doesn't
After
leave
you
my
bust
house.
through the door.
I don't carry it with me. It doesn't leave my house. It just I don't want to ever have to use
Right,
it.
that's the
but-
time. You're like, oh, wait a second. You need real estate? Oh, okay, let me put this down. Let me put this away really quick, and we'll go ahead and
Yeah.
talk. Go ahead and sit in the front.
What
We'll
people
do a
don't
consultation.
realize is if you ever did have to use it, it would completely change your life.
Yeah, people think, I'm like, listen,
Nah.
dude. People think they're such badasses. I've
Nah.
personally had a gun held to my head before and been
yeah.
carjacked.
Me too.
And I can tell you, you aren't nearly as badass as you think you
Wait a
are when
second.
you've got a gun to your head.
Wait a second.
You're
You've
not
been in-
nearly as badass as you think
You've been
you
in
are.
that position?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know,
what went through your mind at
ex-dude
that
man.
time? I mean, were you just...
At the time, I was surprisingly very calm because I knew the person.
Yeah.
He was just on like a crack binge. That's a whole other
Yeah,
conversation.
but it doesn't matter if you know him or not. You don't know what that person's
Well,
doing.
I
especially if
mean,
they're on-
I was very surprised because all of a sudden it's like there's a gun on my head, and I was actually very calm. I just was calm through the whole thing, and then I got out and he took off, and when he took off and then I was by myself, then it kind of hit me. I was like, wow, man!
That's,
and then
that's
I
all
kinda,
you can do.
and
That's
then-
all you can do when you're in that situation
Yeah.
is just stay calm. Because
Yeah.
that's what we had. We had
Yeah.
when during the Philippines, the
Yeah.
Marcos and Aquino thing.
Yeah.
We had the Nationals pull us over. Had 3 M16 sitting at our.
Wow.
And it's like, all you do is you just say, they say, drop your wallet on the ground. You
Yeah.
Drop your wallet on the ground. They take your money out, and then you go on your way.
Well, that was. I mean,
wanna,
yeah.
You
to-
want to
I-
resist. You're
Honestly, to me, you asked how it felt. It wasn't real at the time. Like looking back, it wasn't like it didn't seem like it was a real scenario at the time.
Yeah.
And because it wasn't real, I didn't allow the thought of actually dying enter my mind, which probably helped me.
Yeah.
So good times.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I mean,
Welcome
it's
to Las Vegas.
But the thing is you have to be able to protect yourself too.
Yeah.
And it's like we have the right. It's like I believe that you don't take that right away. It's your God-given right to be able to protect yourself.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. It's like there's nobody or no thing that
you'd
can
be
actually,
surprised the will of instinct.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know?
100%.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into what the show's really about, which is we talked a lot about Las Vegas. Which you know what, man? Listen.
So let's talk about real estate.
So let's talk everything Las Vegas. You guys want to hear more?
Hollow points and guns to your head. So the market this week is picking up.
So let's talk, man. So we know that prices are still going up. We know that the total inventory is starting to come up.
That's starting to come
the
up.
sales are still slow. Tell us a little bit about some of the data, because I want to talk to you a little bit about what's happening in the markets. We know that first-time buyers are struggling. They were saying it's 27% first-time home buyers are buying into this market. You got
Is that what it is?
Yep, investors 16%, cash is like 25%. So we're looking at this across the board. We're just saying, look, man, people are retracting, but yet you still have home prices, and this is what everybody was hoping that, okay, well, we hope it crashes. We hope it's going to go down, and it's not going down.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about
it's not going to crash. It's cooling down. It's starting to even itself out, which is what we needed. I mean,
Yeah.
at some point, things can't continuously go up. I mean, we've gone up basically for the past 12 years or 10 years.
What would be interesting is if this is where the base is. I mean,
It is where the base is, I think.
You think so?
I mean, even if there's price, I'm seeing price reductions all over, but it's not like things are going. It's not like it's a $500,000 house and it's selling for $450 now, or it might, but it's selling for $4. Like there's still very few homes on the market, and the ones, and I can tell you personally with my buyers, the ones that were getting multiple bids on before are now selling for around list price, maybe a little bit lower, but for around list price. It's just my buyers are not having to go against 4 or 5 different offers.
Yeah.
It's you come in and whoever makes a decent first offer is probably going to get it, because you won't get probably if you're on the market for a week or 2 weeks and it's a good house and it's priced right, you're going to probably get 2 or 3 offers at that point. You just won't probably get them first day. Or if you do get them first day, it won't be 4, 5, 6, 7 offers for 30, 40 grand over.
So
it's
you don't
going to
have
be
to
one
do- it's-
offer full price or close to full price.
So it's not highest and best anymore.
No, not at all. I mean, there may be some. I mean, listen, if it's still a really good deal, and say it's a house that is in a $600,000 neighborhood, and they have it at $590,
Right.
and it's completely upgraded, and you're looking at the comps and everything else is selling for $505, whatever it is. $590. Everything else is selling for $600, $605, whatever it is. Then it's going to sell probably. You'll probably get 2 or 3 offers, but it might sell still for list price.
Okay.
Or maybe $5 grand over, but that's just because it was the best house in the neighborhood and was a little underpriced. But that agent, in my mind, was smart listing it like that, going to your seller and saying, "Listen, let's let the aggression come to us." And how do we do that? Is we make it the best deal in the neighborhood by far,
Okay.
and then you let people work against each other.
Yeah, that's makes sense.
So, go
So
ahead.
let's get to the stats. Sorry.
Let's get to the stats.
So last week's actives, we had 4,576 single-family residents. This week we have 5,094, so we have an increase of 11%. And what I was saying to Dan before the show, which is every week for probably the last 4 to 5 weeks, the inventory has increased about 9 to 11%. So about 10% every week for the past 4 or 5 weeks. So what we're at now, it was literally 40, 50% less over a little over a month ago.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So just kind of saying that for a random stat.
Yeah.
So the current act, like I said, so that's 11% increase. Last week's current actives for condos and townhouses was 1,101. This week it's 1,256. So we actually have a 13%
Okay.
increase. So condos are increasing a lot more. Well, not a lot more, but I think last week was like 14 or 15% for condos.
Okay.
Increase. So, so a total last week of 5,677. A total this week of 6,350 homes, which is 11% increase.
Wow.
Last week's active foreclosures were 17. This week are 23. Coming soon, 217 that are going to be coming on the market. And
Foreclosures?
No, for regular homes.
Oh, regular homes. Okay.
Yep. So active foreclosures, I think it was 17 and there's 23. So I was actually at the gas station.
That's still really good.
Not at the gas station, but the grocery store the other day. And I saw an agent. I used to be at Rock Realty. And the owner of that is Brian Pelican. So when I moved here in 2009, Brian Pelican was like the #1 listing agent in the world.
Okay.
He had like 3 Fannie Mae foreclosure accounts. I mean, he did like 1,100 foreclosures in 1 year, dude.
Oh, Jesus.
Right? And so, I ended up at that brokerage a couple years later, and I ran into a guy who's still there. And I said, "Hey, how the foreclosures going over there?" Because I know he still had that count. And he said, what they're starting to see now are, if there are foreclosures, they're the HOA foreclosures.
Oh.
And so here's what happened.
Oh.
Check out this game plan. I remember in 2010, 2011, Nevada used to be set up so it was like, if an HOA could foreclose on your house, they actually had first rights to
Yes,
come
they
in
did.
there, right?
Yep.
So you could be Wells Fargo and have a 30-year mortgage on that house.
You lose.
And the HOA would come in and have first rights.
Yep.
Right? But it was a whole gray area. And I remember there were investors coming in at the time in 2010, 2011, 2012 that were saying basically, these HOA foreclosures you could buy for $5,000 or $6,000.
Yeah.
And
That's true.
But the title was clouded. The title was clouded on it, and there was never going to be a clear title on it. And trying to resell it down the road, and who knows if the bank. So fast forward 10 years. Here's what happened: the banks were able to go back and take the foreclosures back, basically from the HOA having these. So these investors who bought these HOA liens 10 years ago basically had the properties taken from them in a sense.
Yeah.
But check about this game plan. think about buying one for $5,000 10 years ago, and I was taking a look at one of them. They were able to get $1,100 a month for rent every year for 10 years.
Yeah.
So off your
That's a nice little ROI.
initial $5,000,
Yeah.
you made like $183,000 in 10 years just collecting rent. Who cares if the bank takes it back?
Yeah. No, you made
You made
so,
100. So think about
Yeah.
buying 20 of those. You only spend $100,000, and you're able to buy 20 properties and do that for 10 years,
Share the love.
dude.
Share the love.
So let's talk about this
that
topic.
crazy?
Brett, I want to talk about this topic, man. So where we're at here is that I feel like it's an unhealthy market. It's now become extremely unhealthy, just because
Why?
because you have rates going up to 6%. I thought once we hit a 1.94% on the 10-year yield, that rates would get so high that it would.
So explain to people what that means.
I'm going to explain. So we have an uptick in rates. We saw that. We also saw that we were looking at mortgage applications. We wanted them to decline 25 to 35%, which that's happening.
What are they down now? The past month. Just say past month.
I think it's about 15 to 16%, right?
The applications are down?
Decline, yes. And then
That's actually less than what I thought.
yeah. So then also you look at Americans are not leaving their homes. I want to talk about that. Inventories are still low, and 123 consecutive months of year-over-year increases on home prices. That's not stopped. So a lot of this data and this information we're looking at, we still have housing demand has been falling, but yet we're still at 2010, 2013, and 2016 levels. So for me, and
What do you mean levels for what?
for the amount of homes that's still on the market, because inventory is low still.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you say it's 11%, even though you say, well, this is what's going on, it's still unhealthy because prices are still there. They're sustaining the position they're in. Yes, some of these homes have declined, but 11%? And I look at rates have gone up. It's not really had an impact yet on the market. So where are we at with this thing? You feel that we're going to continue to have this problem where you're going to see that people are not going to, or they're going to still have a problem trying to find a home, and prices are going to stay the same? Because
Yes.
okay,
I think this is the new norm, and I think that you and I are splitting hairs as far as it's just a matter of perspective. Because as you just said, a few stats in there, one of them is that basically the market's gone up every year for the past 12 years or 10 years.
okay.
So we're just going to go up every year forever.
So
we're coming back down to earth. We're coming. Listen, we're not. This isn't 1979, 1980 when you're paying 14 or 15% for your mortgage. We're coming back to a normal market, and granted, we still have a little bit to go for a correction. But I think the correction is going to be what a normal market is. We're just going to look at that as a correction because we've gone up and up and up and up and up every year.
Okay.
But in all reality, the correction is coming into a normal market. And that's going to be sustained and be able to kept up by the lack of homes on the market. Because I still think that's going to be a huge issue, because the problem or the issue that none of us or nobody can get past really, because it doesn't make sense, is if you've bought a home in the last 3 or 4 years with the equity that you have or the interest rates that you had, why would you sell right now unless you absolutely had to? So there's going to be certain situations where people do sell, but given that they've probably got the cheapest money that they're ever going to get and the most equity in a house in a short amount of time that they're ever going to have, they have plenty of room for cushions for things to go down.
What do you
and they're
feel
still
about
going to
it,
be
Doug?
fine not selling their house. And nobody can get beyond that.
What do you feel about it?
When we came here, it was I didn't think I could afford a house. And price of houses up in I came from the Portland area.
Okay.
And
which is funny because Portland's super expensive now.
Oh, it's well, yeah. And I couldn't.
just how different how it's
still couldn't-
changed.
Back in '95, I couldn't afford
Yeah.
a house up there. It was $150,000 for a 1950s house, you know. And I came down here, and it was $98,000. Well,
And the house is like 10 years
brand
old.
new. No, it's brand
Yeah,
new.
brand new.
I
There
was
you go.
waiting for it to get done.
Yeah. Okay.
So I had a friend of mine who was a realtor, and he says, "Here's what you do, Doug." He says, "Get some equity in this one, sell it, move on. Get some equity in that one, move on. my thinking on what we got going here is like we have in every other state, like a lot of states where people buy a house and they live in it for a while. It's not a 2-year house.
Like I'm from Wisconsin, man. I sold real estate there before out here.
Wait a second.
And people
Where
live in
are you
their
from,
homes
Brett?
for 20 or 30 years and even pass it on generations,
Oh, yeah,
dude.
I agree.
That's why I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, this town's like money to me. When I moved out here, I was like,
Yeah, well, it's about because it's always been about moving.
Yeah.
Because I've done it. I've moved probably 8 times, but I'm in the house that I'm in now. I don't want to freaking move again.
yeah.
I don't want to move. I
Right?
mean, it's a
So,
decent house. I got good equipment.
And
in
now
it.
you've got the equity, and if you've got the interest rate, because even if you didn't buy a new one in the last 2 years, you probably refied.
I refied for a lower rate.
There you go.
I got my
so
my
that's
VA
what I'm
down
saying.
to
So now you've got
1.9.
equity and the lowest rate you'll probably ever have.
Yeah,
So what would be your motivation now to move?
none.
There you go.
Yeah.
Next question.
So, but I think this town is maybe seeing more people move in and wanting to become more stable or used to
Yeah,
where
absolutely.
they came from.
I mean, listen.
and a 5-year plan instead of a
yeah,
1 or
unless
2-year
you purposely,
plan.
I don't know how long I'm going to be here or I'm going to feel this town out. Why would you not want to buy instead
Well,
of rent?
And they've got more executive, from what I understand, they have more executive rentals on the market now to where if companies want you to move in, then they move you into an executive rental for 1 to 3 years. And then if they want to stay, then
Dude, you're
then
getting $7-8 grand a month, 10 grand a month for rent, no problem.
yeah.
And
I mean,
what's the company care? I mean, they're
I've done actually. I've actually went in and did inspections for people that were actually moving into executive rentals that were paying $20,000 a month for rent.
That's how I said, only in Las Vegas, man. It's like, think about it, isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
Anywhere
it's
else
crazy.
in the country, besides like New York or something.
Right.
Like where I'm from, Wisconsin, you're like, dude, people can get, they wouldn't believe me that you could get away with $20,000 a month on rent on something. I'm like,
yeah.
no, dude, not only can you, but like all across
It's
the board.
pretty normal, actually, in some
It's
of these
normal.
high-end areas.
But
yeah.
people can't, outside of here, can't wrap their brain around that, dude. I'm like, dude, it's not only, but it's normal.
Yeah, let's bring it back. So on that inventory situation, okay, we all know that this could be a long-term position for inventory to come up. Because even when you look at the rates,
It's going to be a slow grind for inventory.
Yeah, what my point was is that I'm trying to say is even with rates going up and even if we see all this data that the market is slowing down, prices are still being sustainable.
Yes.
And you're not going to see it drop. All this data that I'm looking at with people out there still willing to buy, people are equity rich, right? So when they're equity rich, they don't have to worry so much as if I have to go and get a loan, like where do I go after that, right? Also, they'll sit in their house on it if they have to because they don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's a real weird dynamic.
They wait
right now.
for the right situation and the right position before they do anything because they don't need to unless that happens.
Well, even with rates going up, people take the equity and they put it down on this next house and they roll it over. So their loan amount isn't that high. So even having a 6% rate, it's not what the Fed is trying to do and what everybody's looking to do is slow the economy down and get more supply on the market, where it's still very, very unhealthy because even with all of these things happening, people are still buying homes at prices that we see. It's not that, the average home out there is still high. It's like at 485, 490. So people are not really paying attention to, okay, well, I'm going to sit on the sidelines. Now it's those buyers that maybe were not in the market. They're here. Even though you got first-time home buyers, it's we're ranked number 2 as most unhealthy for first-time home buyers to buy into this market. So there's just a lot of things out there that says, oh my gosh, everybody should stop, not buy today, but yet people are still buying. We have prices going up, but the average, the number of sales are coming down, but still people are willing to pay the premium.
I mean, we can break it down however we want. At the end of the day, it's not rocket science. It's economics 101, supply and demand. Yeah. That's it. I mean, you can sit there and twist it this way or spin it that way and bring in this analytics. At the end of the day, it's simple supply and demand. Economics 101. That's it.
So where do you think this market's heading, Brett? As far as prices, you think people are going to continue? Look, I have a lot of people around me that are saying this is a really bad market. Real estate agents have slowed down. You have lenders slowing
It's
down.
a bad market because we're, in a sense, at a stalemate right now because things happen so drastically, so quickly with interest rates and everything that it stuns people for a minute, and that's kind of what's happening right now.
Yeah, but we're past that point.
No.
Are we?
I think we are.
No.
If you have
Dude,
6%,
every day you turn on the news and you see how gas is more expensive and we're starting to head further into a recession and da-da-da-da-da.
So
That's
the reason
no.
they raise interest rates is to control inflation, right?
Yeah.
So they bring the inflation. That's what happened back in the late 70s, early 80s.
with Carter.
Yeah, I mean, they raised it. That's why we had 18% homes, 20% homes, is because they were trying to bring that inflation down, and it had to go higher than the inflation. Now we've got inflation rates that are up 9, 10 on paper anyway. And so what are we going to do? Raise the interest rates to 9%? I mean, they're probably going to go another, because what have they gone? They've gone a half point and then 3/4 point. Now they're a point, right? Last one was a point.
Yeah.
So where are they going on the next one?
Last one was 3/4 of a point, 75 base. You're talking about the Fed's fund rate?
3/4, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Half.
3/4. So my thing is this, though, is that these are drastic things happening, right? You have rates going to 6%. We haven't seen 6%, I think, since, it had to be before 2015, right? Something along those lines. I think we hit it in 2018. Hold on, I'm just saying this. So if you're at that level and you hit rates that high, you also have inflation as high as it is. Why are people still buying? They're still buying because they have equity in homes, and I feel like they're financially in a better place. They're probably in better place than some of these stockbrokers as far as financially in their money in their
I can't
equity.
speak for any other city, but I can tell you that people still want to move here.
Yeah.
So that's not stopping.
But you have to be able to have the equity and the position to do that, right? So if you have it, what does that tell you? It tells you that with all these levers and things that's going on, yes, we've slowed down. And yes, the supply is starting to trickle up. Days on the market, we really need 30 plus days on the market to be a healthy market. We need probably
What it says is that the
4
demand,
to 6 months supply.
The demand is still a lot higher than
Correct.
the supply. That's what it says.
So
simple.
Until you get like 6 months 3 to 6 months on the market, right? On the MLS.
Yeah, 3 to 6 is normal.
Yeah.
We're still at what, a little over a month?
Yeah.
So how would you think that this is a better market, or is it unhealthy, more of an unhealthy market? Because I feel like it's even worse now.
I feel it's a better market than what we've had for the last year. That was an unhealthy market. When you have homes that shouldn't be selling, going for over list price and going for $40,000 or $50,000 over, and that's happening month after month after month, that's unhealthy, bro. Right now is correcting that. And to be honest with you, the correction for what we went up and the craziness that it did go up, to be honest with you, the correction that's happening right now is being tame. Compared
I disagree with that.
What the goods we've celebrated.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I think that it's helping, but it's not completely putting a band on the problem. It's not fixed it.
By no means.
The problem is that as long as you have people have money in their houses, or they have stockpiled money because of COVID, they didn't travel, whatever it is, people just have been saving. They're not spending probably money at that point. You have people with options, and I think right now, with what happened with the crash,
has nothing to do with it.
Well, with what happened with the crash is people had no options. It was like, hey, you have to leave. You don't have excess amount of money. You don't have equity rich in your homes. So a lot of these people.
No, not true.
No, listen. A lot of these people.
Oh, the crash. Sorry,
the crash. A lot of these people, and you could disagree.
No, you're right. I thought you meant.
But a lot of these people right now, they have that position. So why homes aren't going to just say, okay, what we really need is that price. We're hoping that with the supply position, that as we open that up, the prices come down and it becomes more of a competitive market. We're not seeing that. So how would you say that this is a better market, or even it's starting to show signs that it's getting better when prices are still at the same levels that they are? And yes, you're going to have less people making offers on homes, but yet prices are still there, and we haven't done anything. I think we declined $5,000.
So let's start with the premise of what's your version of a good market. Because on one hand, the market last year went up 30%. How are you going to say that's not a good market? On the other hand, going up 30% in a year isn't good. So what's happening right now is a market that's not going up 30%. It's not every home selling for multiple offers over. It's becoming a lot more normalized.
Here's a healthy market. You want a definition?
Yeah.
It's a balanced market. It's really just across the board. If you
Okay.
have the equal amount of people out there buying a house
Sure.
with just enough supply, builders really want properties that they don't want to have months of inventory. If they're like 4 months inventory or higher, it's not good for them. They like lower inventory because then they can dictate the prices and the margins, and you saw that after 2020. So in a normal, good, healthy market, you're probably looking at a 4 to 6 month supply. You're looking in this market here in Las Vegas, I would say roughly around 10,000 homes, right, to choose from. And you're not in a multiple offer scenario, and rates are going to do what they do, but people can still afford these homes. So now we have prices that are, go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
given everything that you've just said, how's that not moving more towards a normal market? We've got more homes in the market. Homes aren't selling for multiple offers over list price. That's been the last 1 or 2 years. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That was unhealthy. So
There's no debate that wasn't unhealthy. What I'm saying is in our present time,
So
right, our present time right now.
Are we in the best scenario the perfect scenario that we could be? Absolutely not. But considering the glory that we've had for the past 2 years, what's happening
Is
right
that
now
glory though, or is that just an artificial market?
Well, I'm talking about home appreciation go up 30%. So if it's seller, that's a glory days. 30% in a year, that's pretty goddamn good year.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is this is becoming more of a normalized market. Are we there yet? No.
How is it more of a normalized market when we still have prices of homes at all-time highs?
What did you not hear me?
I don't see how you
How you say we're not more of a normal? I didn't say
This
we're
is
a
not
normal
a normal
market.
it's more.
I didn't say we did, bro.
Okay,
Go
so
back.
we had
Rewind
rates.
the tape.
We had
Rewind
rates
the
go
tape.
up to 6%.
Who's rewinding this stuff?
Hey, we had rates go up to 6%, right? And what did that do to the market? Are people stopping completely buying from altogether?
Are people doing multiple offers anymore? Are people going 40,
They
50
are.
grand
I'm
over?
writing offers and I see multiple. It's just not 10. It's maybe 4 or 5.
Most homes aren't selling for multiple offers now. Homes aren't going up 30%. Homes aren't going up 5%, 7% every single month.
Brett,
So
we just had
what's
rates
happening
raised.
now is not a normal market, but it's calming down. And to get more to a normal market, you need shit to calm down.
Okay,
Right?
So if you went all in and you said, we're raising this 75 basis points, let's slow the economy down. Yet I still see the streets, people are traveling, people are doing their thing.
Supply and demand.
This is in
Back
general.
to economics 101 again.
This is in general, Brett. You're not getting it. Obviously, you can't.
I'm too stupid.
No, you just can't. You can't debate it. I mean, honestly.
I'm debating it perfectly. I'm right and you're wrong. Next question. What's the debate? There's no debate.
Okay,
I'm
so,
right and you're
so
wrong.
explain to me. Explain to me how this market has gotten any better now that they've raised rates and inflation's higher.
Because you're not overpaying on a house and you're not having...
They're still buying.
Okay, now are they overpaying? Are they going 40, 50 grand above list price?
Maybe, but people
No,
are
they're
still
not.
buying.
No, they're not. They're absolutely not.
Listen, people
They're
are
still buying because there's still a lot more demand than there is supply. I don't know how else to explain that to you.
Okay, so that's my point. Is that if you don't have the supply on the market
Are we having the same
and
conversation,
people
bro?
are equity rich, they're going to continue to go out and buy these homes. They're doing that. That's going to keep the prices of homes where they're at potentially go higher.
I think the people moving here and the amount of people moving here
Doesn't matter who it is. If there's if you have an economy doing that and you have rates go up and inflation go up, yet prices have sustained itself,
Yes.
then you're saying, well, that really didn't make a big impact.
That's what
right?
I'm saying is we're getting lucky right now with the market correcting itself and easing us into it.
Okay, so
Compared to the extreme on the other end that we've had, most of the time, in order to have that corrected and back to normal, you need to have a pendulum swing for an extreme on the other side. We're not. We're being let down gently. So
I disagree. They wouldn't raise
Okay.
the Fed's fund rate 75 basis points to let us down easily.
Okay.
They're basically
if
trying
they
to
wanted
shock,
to, they could stick
they're-
it to us for at 14 or 15%.
Listen, they're trying to shock the market to say, okay, we
That's
really
shocking
don't
the
want
market,
people
dude.
spending money.
okay, so 75 basis points isn't shit.
There you go.
Yeah,
It's
but
not,
let me say this.
because what
He just wants. He's a melody.
Okay, so hold
Dramatic
on. Hold on. So
queen.
75 basis points sounds like a lot, right? 75, but it's 3/4 of a point, right?
Yeah, but they've
Fed-
raised
that's
it
the
how
Fed-
much? How much have they raised it? Not just on the 75 basis points. They've already done two previous.
They did it.
Yeah.
They did 0.25 and 0.5 and then
0.75. So think
now
about
they've-
it.
So that's okay. So now look at the inflation. and they say the inflation is up around 8-9%. And the way they corrected that back in the late 70s, early 80s was to get the interest rate above the inflation rate to get it
to almost go to an extreme on the other side.
Yeah, to go down.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't feel we're heading there now and we're on that path, but yet you don't see.
There's
you still
no way,
see people.
There's no way they can get that interest rate
Exactly.
and keep the economy
Yes.
going and get the inflation down.
So what I've seen is that all levers have been pulled. Now it's just up to the economy to do its
Dude,
thing.
I'm saying
they don't know if it's
they're
going to be good
taking
enough.
the course. They're just
Exactly.
going easy about it compared to what they could be.
Exactly, because
I'm telling you,
like
man.
we were saying earlier, it could be that they, they might raise it a point next time, but still, that's only what 2.25
Dude, I
points
know.
on the federal fund.
It only seems crazy because we've been spoiled for 2 years. The extreme on the other side is
Right.
what I've been trying to say.
123 consecutive months of prices going up.
Yes.
Okay.
So you say to me, how's the market any better? Are the prices continuing to go up like that? No.
They're not
Right?
going up at the same pace, but they're still going up.
There's
It's-
a thing called
it's-
stagflation too.
Yeah,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
But
I mean,
we already we're already in
listen,
stagflation.
Is
Right,
stagflation
exactly.
is stagflation good? No.
No.
But it's
Because you got rising
it's
prices
heading
and
in the right.
rising
But you
interest
have to
rates
you have to
at
go
the
through a
same
little
time.
hell to get to heaven, bro. Right?
Yeah.
So look,
I mean, boot camp's a bitch.
Builders-
but it's so that when the real deal happens, you're
Hey,
ready.
here's another good indicator. So what are builders doing right now? So they didn't overbuild like they did previously, but what are they doing? Now they're calling agents and sending emails out and saying we have these homes. They didn't overbuild. They got inventory you can walk into or move it ready into, but you can still see that they're struggling now.
They
And
are.
They're struggling.
I've-
What is that doing?
I have personally spoke to a couple sales managers for different builders, and on the side they're like, dude,
I
our
honestly think-
managers now are coming down on us with the stuck inventory because
I think the Fed is playing with fire right now.
so do I.
Because
I absolutely do,
because
too.
everybody is on the edge about what's happening here, what's
Mm-hmm.
happening here, who's going to do this, who's going to
Yeah.
milk this cow and pay this cow, whatever, and it's like, who knows? It's about who knows, but I think the bottom line is everybody needs a place to live, and if you can afford to buy a place
Mm-hmm.
right now, I think that's the bet because you have a place.
Well, here's
you
my
are
thing,
in
though.
the market.
Here's
Yep,
my thing.
absolutely.
Where do you
That's-
go if you sell? That's the question. Everybody wants to know. Okay, well, I'm going to leave because you
To
turn
another house.
You turn into a buyer as well.
Well-
but listen, you turn into a buyer. What are you going to get out on the market? What's out there on the market for you today? If you're in a house with $300,000-$400,000 equity, yeah, you could roll it over. But what are you getting the same house? You know what I mean? Are you just really just okay? Well, I'm just going to move here and
How much does it really matter, though?
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
question.
exactly. So
There is no
you're basically in a
buildup.
wash trade.
Yeah, because if you're buying at the well, let's say this is just the base building right
Yeah.
now. It's already gone up quite a bit, but if you're buying at the base building, it's like you don't know if the prices are going to go up from here or go down from here, right? You don't
True.
know.
Well,
So why
I
not
say
just
that.
get in? Why not just get into a house that you can afford? And that's just coming from a consumer because
Yeah.
I'm not an agent. I'm not a real estate agent. I'm
Well,
not
you don't need to be an
economics.
agent to think with common sense on that.
Yeah, but let me
You know?
say this. This is why. So
I mean-
you look at the new home sales, which beat estimates, and what does it really mean, right? The new home sales, the permits, and builders building homes and getting started, building starts. The bottom line is this: is that builders may go through the biggest, correction, if you want to call it, because they were giving those lot premiums. They were the ones charging for a lot of the upgrades, and really those prices of homes. If you look a new home compared to a resale or existing home, it's pretty drastic, the difference.
Yeah.
Not as big as it was once, but it's a little bit closer.
Well,
but you're still seeing
here's where
builders- this is going through a correction
Yeah,
for
here-
them maybe.
I agree. Builders
So the
are
builders are higher or lower than the
Well,
than the
They're higher.
Builders
They're higher.
are in a double jeopardy, in my view, because on one hand, you're having homes sit there because of the interest rates being jumped up out of nowhere, or not out of nowhere, but being jumped up so quickly and all that stuff. Is you have more inventory than you thought, and now with any future builds, or even with the ones that you have sitting there, if you have to take price reductions on it, they're paying for last year's prices, right? So the builder locked someone in a contract a year and a half ago for $500,000,
Right.
and now it costs that builder that same house
Yeah.
$650,000 to build it, which is why they were charging the lot
materials and
premiums.
all that, yeah.
So now you're not going to be able to pass on that cost.
Right.
And get away with passing on that cost.
Well, that makes
So not
sense.
only are you observing the inventory, but you're observing that initial cost you're not going to be able to pass on either.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk. I want to get some of these questions.
I'm a
or just-
smart person.
So that's where the volume
Yeah,
kinda
yeah.
kicks in
I mean,
a
I
little
just
bit,
think
too.
situation. I mean, the builders are in a situation now where they're dealing with a couple double whammy where they've
Yeah.
got to figure it out.
Yeah, but
you
they
know?
were already overpriced, is what I was trying to say. Because
Well, they were passing on the cost.
they were passing the cost to the
You know?
consumer, and that price point now is the materials and things after
Yep.
COVID.
So they're going to eat it on those
well,
costs.
they're going to just lower it down, and they're going to sell the properties that they have. Maybe not at the premium that they
Correct.
were, and now they're going to probably kind of settle into that type of market.
But regardless,
so they
there's-
quit buying the cases of champagne and started buying cases of beer.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, but regardless, that initial wave, they're going to have to absorb that cost of not being able to pass it on.
Yeah.
All right, so we got some
You know.
questions here, and I want to go through them. So first off, I want to give a shout out to Ver.
Ver.
Ver. I call him Ver, but it's Ver. I always get those names twisted.
Ver?
Yeah.
I call him Bear. My bad. I do it because you always say his name. So
Yeah, so let's talk
Sorry,
a little bit.
Ver.
I want to answer some of these questions here. So drive up taxes on gas and incentivize solar. It'll take care of itself. So that's a good one, right? So
Yeah.
I'll repeat that. Did you get that, Doug?
Incentivize.
Drive
Absolutely.
up taxes on gas and incentivize solar. It'll take care of itself. What do you don't think so?
Listen, you want to force somebody to do something? Affect their pocketbook. Works every time. He's absolutely right. That's like saying sex sells. Yes, it does.
Yeah. Whether you like it or not, right?
Every time.
And then Ver said he just bought a house in Wisconsin so that way he could be next to your family.
Did he buy one? No, he didn't. Did he, Barry?
Yeah, he just said he bought a house in Wisconsin.
Barry, you bought a house? I was like, bro, let's go hunting.
All right, so
Do
let's
some ice fishing.
look
I don't
at
do that shit.
Hakeem said,
I don't do the cold, man.
told
I
you
moved here for a reason.
Hakeem said, told you guys you'll see a price decline. Your boy a few months ago thought we'd never see declines again. So
Who's me? I'm the boy.
I don't know. He said I don't think he's verifying anybody. Yeah, he singled you out,
So,
Brett.
so you mean that if you keep on saying that things are going to go down for month after month after month after month after month, that sooner or later it's going to happen?
No, he was saying that. Look, man, he started to see a trend, and there's
So
nothing
did
wrong
I.
with that.
I mean, if you go back to the
but-
podcast-
but it's cool because look, man, these people are out there watching it with us. They want to confirm.
Mm-hmm.
They come on to things like this. They're not going to follow us letter by letter of what we say, but they're going to take a little bits and pieces of what we say.
He's right in the sense that
Yeah.
these signs were showing a couple months ago.
100%. Running at altitude said your motivation to move is due to layoffs, which are likely coming. What do you guys think? You guys think layoffs are coming?
That's something that he might be right about that I haven't thought about that much. I just don't know to what degree it's going to happen.
Layoffs in other parts of the country, maybe, but I don't think these casinos are going to be laying off. I don't think the casinos may be laying off anytime soon. Because remember back in the crash, that strip was still hopping. I mean, it was still pretty busy.
Yeah.
It might have slowed down a little
I
bit,
mean-
and I think I think the what's that? I forget what union it is that big on the strip. Whatever the union is. But anyway, they laid off some. You know, like the maids and the cooks and stuff like
Yeah.
that. They laid off some culinary.
culinary, yeah.
And but I think I mean working down there because we were doing jobs at the time. I had the engineering company and we were doing jobs down there, and that I mean the sidewalks are packed.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we were down there. Probably we had 2 shifts down there.
Yeah, I don't think we're hurting with anything job related in Las Vegas.
Not in
it's
Las
still
Vegas.
a city
I think
that's growing. You know.
I think what's happening is maybe people from other cities maybe laying off because I mean a lot of the. You know, it's like I watched something the other day that said that this farmer said he had to lay a bunch of hands off out in the Midwest because of, you know, they couldn't.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they're going to be looking for a place to go to work. You know, they're maybe hay burners. You know, they come out.
I think the next year or two is things got to settle out. They got to settle down, and I don't know where they're going to settle down at. I mean,
here's the
everybody
thing.
could be as right or as they are wrong right now from 2 years from now.
Honestly, I think things are going to change drastically after after this next election. One way or the other, they're going to change And it's not. It's about getting our country back and getting back to where we can actually sustain ourselves.
Yeah.
Because right now, it's like the Fed has no idea.
Nobody does. I mean, like I said,
That's what I'm saying is they could be right as wrong, or we could be as right as wrong 2 years from now.
I mean, even the resident has the idea of what's going on in the country. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, so I think things are going to change a lot. I think there's a lot of people that are motivated to get this thing going again in November.
I think something's got to give eventually.
It does. Yeah,
in a lot of different ways in life, not just politically, but just with markets and just.
Let's keep going through these questions, guys. Okay. So we have more stuff to get through. I want to try to answer everybody's today. Coming back up here, Hakeem also said that prices are not at same levels in Sacramento. He also said there's less people with options now due to rate hikes. I would agree with that.
I agree.
Yeah. I would agree with that 100%.
Absolutely.
Now,
I've had two inspections canceled just because the rate hikes went up.
Yeah.
They went up.
I agree.
It's a ton. Listen, I got people in the industry, myself, I've had people cancel on new homes, all kinds of things because of rates.
Is he saying San Francisco prices have gone down?
Sacramento prices.
Have gone down?
Yeah, he's saying.
Well, everybody's moving out, right?
He's saying prices are not the same at the same level in Sacramento. So let's keep moving here. So Calvin said, guys, it's easy, supply and demand. I would agree. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
I like Calvin.
Yeah. So he also stated.
He's reasoning.
He also stated pros for good market equals Californians selling overpriced homes and moving to cheaper places, Arizona, Florida, Texas, Nevada, paying cash. Too much demand and low inventory. Cons equals interest rate. So, again, we see that.
He's absolutely right.
And I think that's why maybe locally we're not seeing the effects as much with these rate hikes. I mean, look, I'm still seeing people back out. So it's completely happening. Yeah. But people are still buying homes. And if you were to say, okay, if people, because the market is driven by what people are willing to pay for.
Absolutely.
If they're paying for the houses out there still, but maybe they're not putting 5, 10, 15 above list, right? But they're still paying for it. You're still going to sustain and keep that market and have the potential to keep driving the market up, even with low supply. That's another factor. If we had more supply, right?
That's the main factor I've been reiterating this whole show.
Yeah, but I've disagreed with what you're. Listen,
I know, and now you're agreeing with me.
No, I'm not agreeing with you.
You're trying to say
you're trying to say that this is the reason for this is because of the low supply.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not saying that that's
Did
not.
Did he not just say that?
I'm not saying that's not part of it, Brett. Okay, I'm saying that there's other things that's happened.
That's
but
by
the
far
prices
the main
of homes.
factor. That's by far. Yes.
I understand, but listen, we get that. Yes, I agree. But it doesn't mean that okay, the Fed's doing all these things and they're pulling levers. They've done everything they can. Inflation's high, rates are high. You got prices of homes at an all-time high, but people are still buying, Brett.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, the key factor is getting supply, but the
no supply and high demand.
But the prices of homes is what I was trying to say. You're saying that, oh, well, it's not an unhealthy market to go double digits, 20%. I didn't say it was. You asked me what a healthy market was, and I told you. Even with all these things, though, prices are they've sustained themselves.
I was saying in context to, you're saying, hey, the market's a really crappy market and this and that. And I'm saying, yeah, I mean, it's not a normal, ideal market by any means. But coming from what we've came from, it's starting to move into the right direction, even though it's in a bad area right now. To correction from one side to the other requires movement.
Yeah, we're running over a little bit, so I want to keep going. Sorry. So last one is this: running at altitude, and I'm going to get one with shot. Running altitude says we're starting to see spot reductions on new construction, right? So we see that 100%, and I agree with him. And I agree with him. He's definitely got his ear to the market, right? And so he knows what's going on. I want to read one here for Shot. He said, the key to rates moving around is going to be, let me move this here. The key to rates moving around is going to be foreign capital running away from negative yields in Europe and whatever is going to happen in China once their regulators make a decision. So that's pretty deep.
Yeah,
he knows more. He knows more than me, dude.
that guy knows. That guy knows his shit right there.
He does
Because there's
right.
so much shit going on right now with Russia going to gold, the ruble going to gold, China. It's like all this stuff that's going on over there. So I think once this global thing is figured out, he's absolutely right.
Yeah.
He also stated that
Because we're
Take
just a
that-
small part of it right now.
Yeah, take that 300,000 of equity and get a 4 to 5% on it. AAA bonds are paying over 4% right now. That's another good indicator if you guys want
Dude,
to
we should have that guy in the show, man. He's
some-
from
put-
Vegas.
Put your equity. If
Hey,
you
is
have
that guy from
equity,
Vegas?
If you have equity in a home right now, if you wanted to buy silver, look at silver. Silver is
Yeah.
outpacing every investment right now. Every investment out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
It is.
So let's do
Absolutely
this
is.
real quick. I want to go over here. So, guys, thank you guys for the questions. We're going to end the show here in a second, but I want to give a quick brief over here to Doug and talk about foundation real quick. Give you 5 minutes. You have the floor, Doug. Talk about
I
it.
get 2 minutes.
Wait to be so generous, Dan.
I know. It's 11. It's 11:10, man. I'm
We got
like,
like 2 home inspections. Yeah, one of them's for me, dude. Let's go.
talk about it, Doug.
I need to make sure my deal's secure, bro.
I know,
And
right? So, okay, well, I was just going to bring up real quick. I've had a couple people ask me about foundations and stuff. In Vegas, we got a lot of different soil types in Vegas. There's basically 3 types of foundations that we see. We see a basement foundation, which is more up in the northwest, but there's some on the west side. Basement foundations are good foundations. They're actually great. They're probably the best foundation for a home.
Okay.
Basically, you have something that is in the ground, secured like 6 to 8 feet in the ground.
Yeah, I get it. I'm from Wisconsin. We all have basements.
Yeah, everybody has
Yeah,
basements,
I
right?
get it. Yeah.
So, and then the other one we have is we have a slab on grade foundation, and that foundation has actually got post tension cables. It's got rebar footings. It's all poured monolithically. The cables that are in the slabs are stressed cables at 30,000 psi.
So that allows movement in the concrete.
That allows movement in the soil.
In the soil, yeah, okay.
And then the concrete will settle with
yeah.
it. You know that it doesn't give you that
It'll allow
different.
it to adhere.
Yeah, it all locks in.
Okay.
And then the other one is you have a block foundation. Sometimes these are manufactured homes. So you have a block foundation where you have a manufactured home that sits on the block foundation, and then you got the metal piers that actually you can adjust on the middle framing of the of the.
You go into those crawl spaces? You like those, don't you?
Yeah, right.
Underneath the trailer. Dude.
Man.
I mean manufactured home, sorry.
Manufactured home.
Oops.
Some of them are trailers. Though.
Yeah.
Some of them have the hitch removed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the inspector? Under there.
Yeah. Pull them out.
Comes out, yeah.
Yeah, but so there's 3 types of foundation. Okay, so and then people ask me, they say, well, what the settlement that occurs here is very unlikely in a lot of cases because of the mapping that's been done over the last 25 years with the county. So these the geotech engineers have a great understanding of where
Of the soil,
yeah,
where it's at.
And
Isn't that weird, man? Because like I'm from Wisconsin, it's all farmland, but here, like literally, there's multiple areas throughout the city of different types of soil and like that in one valley.
Yeah.
Brett, where are you from?
Wisconsin, bro.
Yeah.
Wisco. Drink beer and play football. Anyways,
Yeah.
I'm counting how many times you say Wisconsin.
dude, I love it. You're jealous. Where are you from, Cali?
Hey, let me finish here.
Yeah, exactly.
okay,
Go
yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
Dude, it's him.
No, but so anyway, yeah, you were saying there is a lot of different a big variety of soils out there. There's the north side is more expansive and collapsible soils. The south side you've got some expansive and hydrocollapsible soils, but and you also have the sands and gravels. Like Summerlin has more like sands and gravels and that kind of stuff. So and then you get over into Anthem and you get bedrock. So as far as our water table here too, I think I probably said this before on this show, but our water table is really low down in the middle of the city.
Yeah.
So we got like two feet of depth sometimes before we hit
Before
water.
I hit a water table.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Kismet said a question here.
So-
She said, You know, I lived in a townhome a few years back that had a foundation shift and a huge pipe burst under the property. It was a nightmare.
Where
at?
Somewhere in here. I don't know if.
Yeah.
What? Read it again. She had what?
So she had a townhome a few years back that had a foundation shift and a huge pipe rusted.
So they've got townhomes that are older. In the middle of town, and those didn't have any post tension cable. The post tension cable didn't come in until like the
late
early
60s?
early 90s.
Okay,
the 60s, 50s, and 60s were actually back in the Midwest. That's where we got the idea from.
Huh?
And
Kidding.
Yeah. Oklahoma was. I mean, they had expansive soil that actually would throw the houses like into a wreck, you know.
Wow.
And so we kind of moving out west, we found out that we do have expansive soils that, you know, maybe I don't remember how much it is, 50% expansion in some of these soils we have here. Not real fat, but they're pretty good. And then we have the hydrocollapsible soils too, to where they can actually settle with water.
Huh.
So we found that in the early 90s, I believe it was the early 90s, if not late 80s, but early 90s at least, we started using post-tension cable. And that eliminated a lot of that problem that lady was talking about there. It is some of the houses that were built in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few of that.
Yeah, I've been through quite a few
You want a
homes
foundation and you want like
Oh yeah. Walk into the
dude.
garage, and the other thing they did was they put the sewer pipe into the garage.
Yeah.
They put the clean out into the garage, and then you see the thing go like this inside the garage. So you just like drive your car in on both sides, and then hope that you don't hit the
things
middle.
we didn't think about back in the day.
I know, right? So anyway, that's foundations here. From about the 90s on, we're seeing. I'm not seeing that many problems with those foundations. It's the ones that were built in the 60s and 70s. People want to come here and they want mid-century modern. Well, there's some issues that go on with mid-century modern that you have to consider. And,
here's the goods and bads.
Yeah, here's the goods and bads.
So that's really why, I mean, people don't understand, like, there's a lot of stuff that comes into getting a home inspector and going through that process. Because, I mean, the average person's not going to know this information. No. You know, I almost bought a house, and I had Doug advise me not to buy the house.
Doug's doing a home inspection for one of my buyers this afternoon.
I'm like, Doug, why not buy this house? He's like, man, you don't see it? I'm like, you don't see it? And you can't change these things. He's like, dude, don't waste your time. And he actually talked me out of buying a house, dude. And I always
and that's not my goal, to talk somebody out of buying a house.
I bet your agent loved them. Just kidding. Truth.
Right? Yeah, right.
Just being honest.
No, but is to bring all the stuff that I find obvious, and bring it to light.
Yeah,
and bring it
it's
to
your
attention.
job, man.
So
You're licensed to.
That's what I.
Doug or not is top tier, one of the best home inspection, if not the best home inspectors here.
I use them myself
in Las Vegas. Las Vegas home inspections.
And let me tell you something. I only use the best.
We got to end the show. You got anything else to say about that, real quick?
No, that's about it. Give me a call though, 702-806-5280.
What's your website?
Like www.lvhomeinspections.com.
All right, guys, we're gonna end the show here. I just want to bring a couple things here to your guys' attention here. So I was talking to Brett before the show, and we both agreed that crypto's not a good option anymore, and it's tanking. Right, Brett? Is that not right? You said,
what's crypto?
Dude, you said you were the first certified crypto agent here in Los Angeles.
What's crypto?
So, no, I'm just saying, like you said, don't invest into it, right?
Oh, yeah. She never, Personally, I don't even know anything about it, so I wouldn't even talk to you.
All right, guys. Here's the websites I want to show you guys here. So this is my website, LV Home Professionals. Check this out if you guys want to get started on a home. This is a great place to get started. Please check this out. A lot of good information, properties. We have a lot of stuff happening here. Let's see if we got more properties to see. I want to just see if we can do like a quick thing here. Hold on one second. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so we got more properties here. Look at that. Okay, cool. So all these properties, if you guys want to come on here and check this out, check it out. A lot of good information. Also, LV Crib Tours. I'm doing home tours on houses consistently. If you guys are looking for a real estate agent out here, please give me a call. And also Brett. Brett's also a real estate agent. And we're going to bring up Brett's stuff here real quick. If you're looking to sell your home, here's a quick landing page. You can come in here and find out what the value is. So I would definitely go and take a look at this. And that website right there is, let's take a look. I'm going to bring something
Where'd you
up.
get that idea from?
Oh, I got it from a little birdie that told me to do it.
In your ear.
This little
landing page
birdie.
like that.
So I want to bring this up really quick on.
For 17
So if you
years.
guys want to look at this, looking to sell your home, it's homevaluenv.com. Okay, so if you guys want to go to www.homevaluenv.com, let's go to the next one, and it's open houses. So this is open houses on a week-to-week basis. So if you guys want to look at these open houses coming up, I would go to www.lvhomeshopper.com. Okay, so that's where you can go and put the information in and just register. Also coming soon, right? So if you got coming soon homes, lvhousepro.com. Check that out. This is great to get started, lvhousepro.com. This is for homes that are coming soon on the market. You guys can maybe get some of these properties that have not hit and they're coming soon. Like, I don't know, you get that a lot, right, Brett? People come in and looking at houses, they want to see what's coming before it actually hits the market, right?
And this market is, if you're first to the house and you don't have to make a full price offer most of the time now. Just make a decent offer and you'll get it.
If you're not first, you're last.
Yeah, right. Last one I want to say here is, and these are all landing pages, guys. These are great. Home prices reduced. So we talk about this all the time on the show. If you guys want to see home prices reduced,
somebody's
on the
been
show,
busy.
Yeah, we have a lot of good
pages.
information here. So guys, check that out. Home prices reduced is lvhomesguru.com. Go to that website. And as always, guys, this is the most real and behind-the-scenes information on financing, real estate, money talk happening here in Las Vegas. I am your host, Dan French. Please check us out on Tuesday. We're going to have another guest. We're going to talk a lot about insurance and what's going to happen with that. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. If you need a real estate agent, reach out to me. I'm here. Talk to you guys then.
Thank you for watching the French Workbench Podcast. You can find us here every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. to find out all the information on real estate and financing here in Las Vegas. Also, check us out on our LV Home Professionals website. You can find your future home there. A lot of good information.